Hey guys, it's Jordan here. Long time no see. It's been quite a while since I made a video for this channel. I've been really busy with reviewing games for Switch Watch, so I haven't made any videos for here. But I don't know, I have some free time right now, and I just wanted to take you through my Switch collection that I have so far. I don't have too many games, but I just want to go through them and talk about them a little. Now, I'm sure this will be out of date very, very soon because I do like buying games quite regularly, so yeah, this will be out of date pretty soon, but I'm sure I'll do another one maybe next year. So in alphabetical order, let's just go through them and let's see. So first up is Cave Story Plus. Now it's not the best start to this video because actually I haven't played this one yet. I bought it ages ago, like more than a year ago, and it's just been sitting in in my pile. I don't know why. I guess I've just been busy with other games, and this seems like the kind of game where you're waiting for a spare moment or something like that. And I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and I'm sure it's a fantastic indie game that I probably should play at some point, and it is on the list. I considered it recently. I put a poll on Twitter asking which game of my backlog I should play next, and this was on the poll, so I have been considering it. Looking forward to it. Okay, that's Cave Story. Next up we have the Coma Recut. Now you may notice this one is still sealed. That's because I own a digital copy. I reviewed this for Switch Watch. It was actually my first review that I ever did for those guys. Before I even joined the team officially, and I decided to buy a physical copy. Now the funny thing about this is I gave the game a 5 out of 10. Yep, I gave a game a 5 out of 10, and then I bought it. Why? I don't know. I really love the idea of this. The concept is fantastic. This guy, I think his name is Young-ho, and he's been stalked by a killer. This lady over here, in a high school. It's like Korean horror. It's a really great, fantastic concept, but it just it had quite a lot of problems. The controls weren't great, and yeah, it had lots of problems that stopped it being good. But the concept was fantastic, and I really wanted to support the developers, Espresso Games. I forgot what they're called. Is it here? Devspresso. Because I would like to see a sequel to this and hopefully iron out those big problems that I had with this game. So yeah, that's a weird one. I bought a game that I gave a 5 out of 10. There we go. Next we go into one of my most recent purchases. Not the most recent, but one of them. It's not that new, but it's been a while before I decided to pick it up. I did play the Crash games back in the day. It might have been a demo disc on the PlayStation. I never owned it, I don't think. It's kind of difficult for me to remember. But, I do have some nostalgia. I remember my friend really loving the games. And, I definitely wanted to pick this up for the Switch because I was actually disappointed when it only came to the PlayStation 4 last summer. And so yeah, I was happy to be able to pick this up for a fairly reasonable price. Now I've played through not all of the first one so far. I think it's I'd say about 3/4 of the way through. I'm not exactly sure. I've gotten to like the Sky Bridge level. Like I think it's the second or maybe third one. I think it's the second Sky Bridge level, which is just almost impossible. This game is way more difficult than I remember. It's very, very difficult, but enjoyable. I'm actually enjoying it, apart from the level that I'm kind of stuck on. I mean, I could move on to the second and third, but I do actually want to finish the first. Yeah. So I've been playing this on and off, like a level here, a level there, until I kind of got stuck. But I'm sure this one will be, I'll eventually get my way through it. So yeah, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Now we have, okay, yep, just trying to get these in alphabetical order. Doom. Yeah, Doom is just awesome. For this to come to the Switch is fantastic. I think, you know, because I don't have a lot of free time. I have a lot of games and not a lot of free time, so it takes me a while to get through games. So I think I'm about halfway through Doom so far. You know, I only play it very irregularly, but you know, when I do play it, I enjoy it. It's just fun to relax and, you know, destroy like demons spawn. It's fantastic this came to the Switch. I don't have Wolfenstein, which, you know, is kind of like almost a sister title on the Switch, but I do want to get that at some point. It's just a huge download that's, you know, kind of annoying, and I'm waiting for the price to come down. But Doom, yeah, a really nice port, and yeah, I enjoy it. It's a good game. I wish I could play it more. Dragon Quest Builders. Now this is a great game, and again, because I don't have a lot of time, I think I've played it about 5 or 6 hours maybe. It's fantastic. I love the almost Minecraft kind of nature to it, but I like it more than Minecraft. I don't know, there's more personality to it. I like the fact that you can build your towns. You know, town building is one of my favorite like gaming mechanics, where you build the buildings and then you get people to move in and they add something to the community. You know, I love that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've not got very far. I know this is kind of a huge game, and the second one is coming soon, right? So I'm looking forward to playing this more if I have time. It's in my carry case. I have a Switch carry case, and in it you can have like 10 cartridges that you can take with you. And this one's always there, just, you know, in case you know, it's a perfect play for like, you know, 20 minutes at a time kind of game. Perfect for on-the-go gaming. Which one's next? Okay, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Now, I played this a lot on the Xbox 360 when it originally released, and I completed it, and it's a good game. I like it. It's not as good as Morrowind, but then nothing is. So, yeah, happy to have this on the Switch. I played it a little, but I'm not the kind of guy who plays the story in these games. I just tend to wander around, do some side quests, you know, get a house, fill the house with stuff don't need, you know, commit atrocities on occasion. Yeah, I haven't played this one too much, but you know, again, it's perfect just to pick up at any point, you know, just resume your game, go adventuring, you know, just wander around, do stuff. I like those kind of games. It's good to have it on the Switch. I mean, it's kind of a surprise. You know, it was first revealed with the Switch, and yeah, I mean, it's not what you would expect on a Nintendo console, but I'm happy it's here. Hopefully, you know, Bethesda with Skyrim, Wolfenstein, and Doom, hopefully they can see that the Switch is a good place for their games. Fire Emblem Warriors. Now, it's okay. You know, I actually like the Masu games, you know, Dynasty Warriors. I like those. Well, I did. I loved Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4, and, you know, eventually it did get a little tiring. I don't know if tiring is a word. Maybe they kind of went in the wrong direction from what made 3 and 4 really great. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, the mechanics are fine. I'm not sure I like the switching characters mechanic. I know a lot of people do, that's fine. But for me, I don't know. There's just something disjointing about switching characters and things like that. They implement the Fire Emblem series well. You know, how it's more tactical. You can direct units from the menu and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's just something about it. It's like kind of, I think the stages that I've played so far, I haven't played all of it. I played about 4 hours or something like that. I think the stages are a little bland, like the colors and the design. It's just a little dark, and you know, it's not you know, vibrant, and I kind of like that. So I kind of like vibrant, not this. So yeah, it's not my favorite of the Nintendo releases. I know, yeah, Nintendo published this one in Europe at least. But yeah, I haven't got Hyrule Warriors, but I'm sure I would like Hyrule Warriors more. Okay. Happy Birthdays, another game that I don't really like that much. I reviewed this for Switch Watch, and I bought this game before the Western release, because this is, you can see it's a Hong Kong version or Asian version, but it plays in English. And so I had this actually before the Western release by quite a few months, I think. So yeah, I bought it, and you know, it's just not. It didn't interest me. It didn't pull me in. It's just a little too boring. Yeah, I think boring is kind of the word. There's not enough. It's kind of cheap. Yeah, you know, you move the terrain up and down, and that changes the life. That's basically it. It didn't hold my attention because I love the idea of it. You know, I'm really into science and animals and stuff like that. You know, evolution, but this just didn't. It was too ambitious for its own good, and the mechanics are just too simple to keep me engaged. Really, I think I gave it like a 5 or a 5.5. A written review. I didn't do a video because again, it's just kind of there's nothing interesting to see, so I didn't show anything. Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition. I don't know if there's a normal edition. So Lachlan on the website, he wrote a positive review of it, and he said he liked it. I think he said he liked it more than Stardew Valley, which is mind-blowing for me personally because I love Stardew Valley. The graphics, as you can see, are utterly just the worst. It has the worst art design of any game ever, just about. But you know, I've played it a little, not enough to give it a full judgment. But what I've played of it so far, actually, there's a lot of like quality of life, like mechanics in here that I actually appreciate. Like, it's really easy to just do what you need to do. Like, if you need to water the plants, you know, the game knows that you're going to water them. You don't need to switch through all of your tools to find the watering can. You know, it just does it, and I appreciate that. I mean, sure, it takes a little bit out of the player's sort of involvement, but you know, I appreciate what they've done here. I need to play it more before I judge it properly, because you know, I mean, it's very easy to judge it from the book cover basically, because it does look awful. But you know, Lachlan said it's pretty good, so you know, I believe him. One of the very early titles for the Nintendo Switch has been Heroes. This is such a difficult game. It got really bad reviews, or maybe average reviews, when it was first released. But you know, I've played it for quite a while, and I got addicted to this at the beginning. I think once you get used to the roguelike and the battle mechanics, once you learn, like, get into the flow of battle, it's actually really in depth, like almost too in depth, really, because it lacks accessibility for like a casual player. But yeah, I mean, I can see why it was reviewed badly, because I think reviewers just couldn't play it because it's too difficult. So they gave it a bad review. And I understand, but I think this is a game that's well worth taking the time to learn. And I did learn it, and even when I thought I was getting really good, I still got stuck, you know? So yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, but I actually quite like it. I never finished it because it was just, I think I just got to a point where I'm like, this is too difficult. But it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. LA Noire. Now, I liked this on the PlayStation 3 when it was originally released. I never finished it. So I thought I'll get it on the Nintendo Switch and finish it here. And guess what? I haven't finished it. And the even more funny thing is that I think I stopped at the exact same point as I did on the PlayStation 3 version. Like, I think I got to the same case. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I would love to get back into this, because it is fascinating. It's highly flawed as a game. You know, there's a lot, like, the interrogation stuff is just, it's almost like nonsense. It's just like guesswork. But I love the animation, the voice acting, just the acting in general. The whole overall presentation is just, it's unparalleled. I mean, it's such a, like, you can tell where the budget went into it and where it didn't go into it. Yeah, I like LA Noire a lot. I don't know why I put it down at the same point. I guess it was just a coincidence, really, because I do enjoy it, and it's not as though I'm sick of it. I don't want to play it. It's just, you know, other things happen, and I'll get back into it at some point. Like with Dragon Quest Builders, this is in my carry case just because I'm determined to actually finish it. So it's there to like maybe force me to complete it one day. Okay, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Of course, for me, this is the best Nintendo Switch game. Like, this was just such an amazing experience. Now, I'm not one to get hyped too much about certain games, especially with long reveal. Like, this was revealed long ago, and I find it difficult to get hyped about stuff like that when it's so far away. But when it released, and I finally got my hands on it, and it's oh my god, this is such a good game. Probably the best Zelda game. Maybe my favorite Zelda game. That's difficult. When you take nostalgia out of it, then it's probably my favorite Zelda game. With nostalgia in there, then who knows? But this is such a great platform for Nintendo to, you know, expand on this concept even more and do something even more amazing, because they've got a great engine. They've got like the foundations for future games. And yeah, I mean, if you don't own The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild for your Switch, I mean, what are you doing? Like, really, what are you doing? This is a Japanese version, as you can see. It plays in English. It's fantastic. Mario Kart Deluxe, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, sorry. I mean, I owned this on the Wii U. It was the first Wii U game that I actually owned. And when we knew that Mario Kart 8 was coming to Switch, I didn't really care. I was like, nah, I've played that loads. But when I saw it in the shop, and then I heard people talking about it, and you saw it on social media, I'm like, I really want this again. So I went out, I bought it. I bought it for more than I bought the original, which is crazy. And I played this to death. The first week it came out, oh, I lost days. Maybe 2 days of those 7 were lost to this. Because it was summertime, so lots of free time for me with my work. So yeah, this was a great summer game, fantastic summer game. And I haven't played it a lot recently. I played it like when friends come over sometimes, but not too much. But it's just, again, if you don't own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Wii U or Switch, why not? It's the best Mario Kart game, no question. Another great Mario game is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now this took everybody by surprise. It's just how great it turned out. I mean, Mario and the Rabbids in a strategy game. I mean, who thought that would be a good idea? I mean, when it was first like leaked, there was leaks about it, rumors, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be terrible." Me, I was like, "Well, you know, I'll give it a chance. It sounds interesting. I mean, what could they do? They did this." And I'm glad I went in with an open mind, because when they did reveal it, it was like, yeah, see, this is great. And I don't think I completed it. I think I got very, very far. I think I got to the last sort of world, but then stuff happens. So yeah, I'm sure I will complete this one day. I'll get back into it, and it's very enjoyable. There's the DLC, which I don't have, and I probably won't get, even though I've heard it's decent. I mean, because I think this is enough. It's quite lengthy, so yeah. Ubisoft did a great job with this one. Fantastic. Something a little more niche, Musinx. I don't know how to pronounce it. Musinx, whatever. It's a rhythm game from PM Studios, it says. Yeah, it's kind of like Demo or Voez, where the notes fall and you use the touchscreen or the buttons, if you want to play music. You know, it doesn't get much simpler than that. It's very trendy to have these kind of games these days, especially from like Japanese developers. And it's nice. It's pretty nice. Some good music. It doesn't really like expand on the concept. It's basically you play the music and that's it. So yeah, I mean, there's like different themes, which was nice, and a decent variety of music. I think I did review this for Switchwatch in a written review, and I think I gave it an 8, which is very well deserved because there's a lot of music. It plays well, and what more could you want? Musings. Good. Here's a game that's kind of close to my heart. Oceanhorn. I reviewed this for this channel, and I liked it a lot. Probably more than I should do, because it's kind of, you can tell it's a mobile game. It's a little, I don't want to say rough around the edges, but, it's not the most smooth console game ever in terms of, like, the controls and stuff like that and the mechanics. But it's such, like, a charming little Zelda-like that, I don't know, I just had to buy it physically when I got it. So, I kind of like the underdog. And Oceanhorn is the underdog of Zelda games, I think. It's not the best Zelda game. It's kind of simple and things, but I had such a lovely time playing this game. Like, really lovely time, even despite its limitedness. I had to get it sealed. I had to buy it physically, and it's still sealed. And I'll probably leave it like this because I have no need to open it. But I wanted to have this as a little memento of a game that I actually really, really enjoyed. Okami. Now this physical release wasn't released in the West. This is a Japanese version, and this is the reversed cover of it. You can see the original cover in here. If I move this, hang on. So I'm out, reaching over the camera. Okay, there we go. That's the original cover. To be honest, I think the original cover might be better than this one, but I think for the fact that they've gone to the effort of doing a reversible cover, that I should reward them by showing that off, because I do love a reversible cover, even if it's not as good as the original. I appreciate the effort that they've gone to. Okami is an amazing game. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this game. This is the 4th time I have owned this game. I was super disappointed when it was not announced for the Nintendo Switch, the HD version. It was announced for like Xbox One and PS4, but the Switch version was not announced until quite a while afterwards. So I was super happy when eventually it was revealed. Because it's an amazing game. It hasn't aged a day visually. Mechanically, it's pretty sound too. There's fireworks going off. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, the pacing is a little off. It's a game that keeps going and going and going, and even when you think you've finished, there's still a long way to go. Sorry. Actually, despite this being the 4th time I've owned it, I've never completed it. I've got very far, almost every time I've owned it. But this will be the one that I complete, I promise. It's in my Switch right now, and I've gotten further than I have ever got before. So the signs are good. Okami will be completed, and I love this physical edition. I'm so happy I got this. It was pretty cheap too, like the physical download. If you have a Switch, buy Okami, even a download or physical. I'm pretty sure it's easy to import. It's very easy for me. Puyo Puyo Tetris. I mean, look, if you want a party puzzle game, this is the one you go for. Sadly, I didn't get quite as much joy out of this one as I should have, because even though I know it's a fantastic game, the opportunity to have a good time with friends never came up. We usually play like Mario Kart or something like that. And Puyo Puyo is actually quite difficult to wrap your head around, so it's not the most easy to just give the controller to somebody who hasn't played games before. So there was that. And I foolishly bought the Japanese version because unlike most Japanese releases, this one did not have English included in it. I think it's because with a publishing deal, I think a different publisher took over for the Western release. So there's something in the translation that probably didn't make it into this one, which is a shame. So I didn't get to sample the story either, because that's all in Japanese. Yeah. So there's very few regrets I have with my Switch purchases, but I think this is probably one. Not because it's a bad game, but because I bought the Japanese version instead. And I was hoping there'd be a patch later to include English, but I don't think that's the case, which is a shame. It's a good game. I just haven't, enjoyed it enough. Rime. I guess this is kind of like a regret, because I've always admired Rime from afar when it was on the PS4 and stuff. It looked beautiful, and I really wanted to play it, and it was coming to the Switch, so I thought I'd wait. And eventually it did get released, but with some incredibly bad performance issues, so again I put it off. And eventually they did put out a patch, so I did eventually get it. But the patch still, is still not great. And I played it for like an hour, I think, something like that. And I just want this game to be perfect. I really want the performance to be fine. Even if it's like 30 frames per second, I just want that, okay? I want it to be smooth. It's not smooth, and it's a shame because, I don't know, it has such potential. It's a shame that the performance is so poor. I mean, I'll keep waiting, but I'm not hopeful. It's a shame. Rime. Sheltered Generations. This is from Super Rare Games. They do like limited run kind of games. Yeah, I mean, this got a good review from Jen on our website, I think. And it's an interesting concept. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just saw it, and it just seemed really, really interesting, and not the normal kind of game to get a physical release. So yeah, it wasn't expensive or anything, and I thought I'd give it a shot. I haven't played it yet, but I will eventually. So it's Super Rare Games, so it has like a sticker and some like some card packs things, collector cards. These are kind of useless. I mean, I know a lot of like limited run. I keep saying limited run. Such a perfect name for their business. But yeah, I don't see the point. What's the point in these cards? Like, give me something useful. Like, I don't know, a soundtrack. Soundtrack is always good. Trading cards, what's the point? Yeah, lovely artwork inside. I'm sure I'll play this at some point. Looks nice. Seany Morax EX. I've not really played this, to be honest. I had it on pre-order for forever. It was really cheap pre-order. It was like £15 or something like that. And I like shooters, so I thought I would just pre-order it. And like months and months after it was delayed, or there's no word about it, it eventually just arrived in the post. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I honestly haven't played it. I've heard like decent things about it, but not amazing. But it's a shooter on the Switch, so I thought I'd get it. I'm sure I'll play it at some point when I have time. It kind of looks like Midgar from Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, Sonic Forces. I reviewed this for this channel, right? It's not a good game. It's not a good game. It's all right. It's incredibly rough around the edges for what it wants to be. But I guess I enjoyed it. I guess I did. It's not good, but I kind of enjoyed it. Sonic Mania is like 100 times better, but it has a certain like crappy charm to it, I guess. I don't think I would ever play this ever again. Like the 4 or 5 hours that I blasted through this for the review was enough for me. But I think this is also one of the cheapest Switch games that you can get right now. Like if you want to buy second hand on eBay or even brand new, it's super cheap, I think. At least my sources. So so yeah, if you're looking for a very cheap Switch game, this is one of them. Splatoon 2. I bought this when it was released, and I plowed about, I think it was like 30 hours into it in the summertime when it released, and I loved every single minute of it. But I only played online. I never played the single player campaign, which is a shame, and something I should fix at some point. But you know, I just every time I pick this game up and I put it in my Switch, I just immediately go to the multiplayer, just because it's so addictive and it's pick up and play at its finest. It's a good sequel to Splatoon 1, not too much different, but enough for me, and it's become one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, deservedly so. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. The third one, they're going to need to do something a little more different, otherwise they're going to get some flack, I think, for, you know, keep being too safe. But yes, if you own the Nintendo Switch, you should own Splatoon 2. Even if you're not into like hugely competitive environments, I think it's welcoming enough. You can still have fun and contribute, even if you're not very good. And you know, that's what Nintendo do best. It's a great game. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Steamworld Dig 2. Now this is an absolutely fantastic indie game. Like, I played Steamworld Dig 1 on the 3DS, and you know, it was alright. I thought it was alright. It didn't grab me like other people said it did to them. But Steamworld Dig 2, oh, this hooked me good. And I'm always going to have very fond memories of this one, because this one and another game I'm going to talk about fairly soon, Yoku's Island Express, those are the two indie games that I decided to plow through while my wife was heavily pregnant and we were waiting around for the baby to come. So like that last week or two, I played those two games while we was just, you know, sitting around in the house, you know, and I'm always going to remember these two games. And I wasn't playing it just to play it. I mean, I was really, I'll speak about Yoku in a second, but I had so much difficulty like choosing which one I was going to play at that time. Like I played Steamworld Dig 2 for like 2 hours, and then, you know, I think, oh, I better play Yoku's Island. Then I play Yoku's Island for 2 hours, and I was like, oh, I'll play Steamworld Dig 2. And then I keep forcing myself to go between the two, and I really wanted to play both at the exact same time, because they were both fantastic indie games. But yeah, this is so much improved on the original for me, and it is easily one of the best indie games on the Nintendo Switch. Definitely. I think you should own this, whether it be digitally, which is fine, or a physical copy. You get a nice poster, which you may see in my Switch Watch reviews, the intros. But yeah, one of the essential indie games for me. Stern Pinball Arcade. Now this is the most recent addition to my collection, and this was actually a donation from one of my friends, one of Switch Watcher's friends on Twitter. He doesn't want me to use his name, so I won't say that. But he kindly donated Stern Pinball Arcade, despite me protesting highly that he didn't need to be so nice. He insisted that he sent it to me, and so after months and like it must be like 2 months, it took to arrive here in China from America. So yeah, I actually thought it was lost in the post at some point, but eventually it did turn up, and I played it yesterday for the first time. I was going to play it for 10 minutes just to see if, you know, everything worked and stuff, and you know how it is. 3 hours later, I have to stop playing because of the battery running out on the Switch. So yeah, some nice pinball, like classic pinball, like real pinball machines. You know, they've digitized some real pinball machines, Last Action Hero, Starship Troopers, and stuff like that, Ghostbusters. And what I've learned about from playing this is that you shouldn't always like a pinball machine for its, you know, whatever franchise it's going after, because, you know, I love Starship Troopers. It's one of my favorite movies like ever. It's so funny. But the pinball machine is not very good. Whereas something like Harley Davidson, like I have absolutely zero interest in Harley Davidson. Like I couldn't be further away from that kind of crowd. But the pinball machine is really good. It's really fun to play. And likewise with Ripley's Believe It or Not. I don't even know what that is, but the pinball machine is really good. So yeah, I was playing that for like 3 hours. I'm not good at pinball, but I do really enjoy it a lot. So yeah, I was very happy, and thanks to my good friend on Twitter for sending it to me. Such a nice guy. Super Bomberman R. Now, this was a launch title, and it's obviously a Japanese copy, but it does play in English. And yeah, it's Bomberman. I mean, it has a story mode, which is kind of dull. I played it about halfway through, I think, and it's just like, I can't bother. So I do save this for multiplayer. I don't play it too often, but it's good for multiplayer action. If you've got like a few friends over, this is perfect. And it's Bomberman. I mean, what more could you ask for? I'm glad it's been successful for Konami. They are having kind of a mini resurgence these days. You know, they're redeeming themselves from pachinko, like, I was going to say heaven, but it's more like hell. Yeah, so, yeah, I think, you know, if you're looking for a party game, it was probably too expensive at launch, but they've really added lots of DLC now, free DLC. So, it's much bigger than it was at launch. And I think if you can find it for a reasonable price, like $25 or something, this is perfect. You should own it for, you know, those social gatherings. Super Mario Odyssey. Now, I bought this on release day, but I didn't start playing it until, I don't know, like a month later. It was like sitting on my shelf while I was doing like reviews for this channel, and it was just staring at me, and I was staring at it, almost crying. Like I couldn't play it because I didn't have time. But eventually, I very, very slowly made my way through it, and in fact, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, that I think I was close to the end, but then in like one day, I just absolutely smashed it. Like I think I put like 8 hours, like non-stop, with like some breaks in, just to, you know, like fully enjoy it. And I think Super Mario Odyssey needs to be kind of enjoyed that way. I can't say I enjoyed playing it for like 20 minutes here, half an hour there, like a week later, another half an hour. You know, I found that difficult to enjoy. But when I just like put my time into it, this is such a fantastic game. It's in Japanese, obviously, but it plays in English, which is what I love about the Switch. And this is absolutely essential. Maybe this, along with Zelda and maybe Splatoon 2, as the essentials for the Nintendo Switch, as like big first-party releases. One that's not quite so essential is Sushi Striker Way of the Sushido. I haven't played it, honestly. James reviewed this for Switch Watch, and he thought it was okay, it was decent. And you know, I decided to buy it. It wasn't the most expensive Nintendo game ever. So I played a bit of the demo, and I kind of liked the demo, so I thought I'd give it a shot. But unfortunately, I haven't given the full release a shot just yet. I'm sure I will at some point. I will eventually get to it once I've, you know, got through a few other higher priority games. I'm sure it's decent. It's probably overpriced. Probably not the console it was designed for, because I'm sure the 3DS version is actually better. But yeah, I'm sure it's decent, but not Nintendo's best release on the Switch, for sure. Whoops, there goes my pile of games. Well, we're almost at the end. We've got like 6 more left. Taiko no Tatsujin on the Nintendo Switch. I love this series. I love the arcade games. I had the Vita version, which you may have seen this video that I did on it. But yeah, I love this series. I have the drum controller, and I reviewed it for Switch Watch. You can check out that video. I highly recommend it. I just love. It's just so fun, so happy, so rewarding to play. And okay, it's not the most like kitted out version of Taiko no Tatsujin. It is a bit bare bones, I think, but I just love it. It's so satisfying to play. You know, when you have a drum controller and you're smashing away It's so fun. And the best thing about it, the DLC, it has, well, in the normal release, it does have some Studio Ghibli. There you go, Sampo, and I think it's somewhere that one. But also there is a DLC pack with like 5 more Studio Ghibli songs, and some, like, the choice of those, like one of them, it was just a dream choice for me. It was the Kiki's Delivery Service, like the song that plays on the radio when she flips it on. Oh, so good. Wild Guns. So this was pretty cheap. It's Hong Kong release. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it almost at all. I think I tried the game to see what it was like. It's kind of dated. It's fun, but kind of dated. Probably a little frustrating. Reversible art cover. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fun for like a quick go here and there. I haven't put enough time into it to judge it properly. But yeah, I'm sure it's fine. It was really, really cheap, so I thought I'd get it. I never had my eye on this for a while. When it came to the PS4, I was interested in that, like a Super Nintendo game coming to modern consoles. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I'm sure I will give this a go at some point. Oh, look at that lovely, juicy translation. A true arcade game is returned for Nintendo Switch. It is time to revenge. Better be ready, you space pirates. Oh yes, love it. Now here is a sad case, very, very sad case of Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. Now, as I'm sure you can see, something is not quite right with this one. And that's because, oh gosh, there was a little bit of water damage. As you can see, the game is fine, the game wasn't here. Whew, it was in my carry case. So yeah, somebody placed this where it shouldn't have been placed, and unfortunately got damaged, which is a shame. Wonder Boy is a great game. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and it's classic side-scrolling action platformer. I love the fact you can change between graphics, between the modern and the old. Love it. You have different powers, which is kind of almost like Metroidvania. It's a little more linear than that, I think. But it's a great game. And if you don't own this, why not? Get it. If you like retro games, side-scrolling action platformers, it's one of the best. It's one of the best looking for sure. And I highly recommend it. And joining Wonder Boy in the unfortunateness is... this one's even sadder for me. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I mean, just look at it. What happened? Oh my gosh. Water damage, yeah. Pity. And again, thankfully, the game was in my carry case. Whoo! Obviously, I can never resell this ever, and it is pretty much an eyesore on my collection, along with Wonder Boy. But the game's fine. That's what I care about the most. It's a shame. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles, I played. To my everlasting shame, I've only played this like 5 hours, and considering Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I played all of that, and then Xenoblade Chronicles X, I played all of that. It's just a shame that I think when I got really into the reviewing of Switch stuff, this just had to go by the wayside because it's such a time sink. And I think I played like 5 hours so far, and I didn't get stuck. I was like meandering from one place to another, and I kind of lost my way. And so I put it down, and I haven't picked it back up yet, which is a shame because I'm sure it's fantastic. Probably more complicated than it needs to be, like battle system wise. It's all the stuff. It's very overwhelming, I think, which makes it not easy to like jump back into. Like if you've gone like a couple of weeks without playing, it's not the best game for that. It's kind of game that you need to just constantly play. Like only play this for like 3 months or whatever. I'm sure it's fantastic, but I just haven't had enough time, which makes me very, very sad. Almost finished. 2 more. Yoku's Island Express. Now, along with Steamworld Dig, I'm going to have very fond memories of this because, when I think of this, I'm going to think of my daughter, who was born very soon. after I completed this one and Steamworld Dig 2. Pinball, Metroidvania, what more could you ask for? You could ask for a beautiful looking, just the most beautiful looking, it's almost, I think it's hand-drawn artwork, and it's just, really, I can't recommend this enough. It is definitely one of the best indie games on the Nintendo Switch so far, along with Steamworld Dig 2. And if you can get a physical release, get it. I mean, okay, maybe the cover's not the best, you know, it's kind of big. It doesn't do the artwork justice, let's say, but it's such a fantastic game. If you like pinball, if you like Metroidvania, you like cute, charming art style and characters, and just inventive gameplay, this is fantastic. Get it. Okay, and the last one. Here we have Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. Now, I've only played this like 2 hours or something, but it's very relaxing. It's like one of the most relaxing games that I've ever played so far. It's kind of like, I want to say Breath of the Wild kind of game, but that's doing it too much, you know. It's not that epic, I guess. This is very genteel, almost like in a kind of like a Harvest Moon kind of game, but even more relaxed than that, because there's no time, there's no combat, there doesn't seem to be any sort of malice or there's nothing against you. It's just be nice. Basically, you're washed up on an island, I think, and you're tasked with like sort of cleansing the world from this like malaise kind of thing. Is malaise even a word? I don't know. I got that from Dead Cells. But yeah, it's very genteel. There's no timer or anything. You just do some like animal farming. You help people in town if they need some materials. You find, you know, like little menial tasks in a very charming kind of way, and I really like the visuals too. It's a very relaxing game, almost too relaxing. Like kind of like you want to like fall asleep sometimes. You're like, oh, like you need some more excitement sometimes. So, but I mean, I haven't played it enough. Maybe later on there is some kind of threat. I don't know, but it is a very relaxing game, and I'm looking forward to playing more. I just need to be in the right mood to play it. Like I said, it's very relaxing. There's no kind of, I don't think there's any challenge as far as I can tell. It's just like trading and like finding animals and befriending animals and just exploring, fishing, stuff like that. So if you're in for a very peaceful time, I think Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles is the place to go to for that. Okay guys, that is my entire Switch collection so far. Obviously I have digital games too on my Nintendo Switch. The reason that I don't have like Kirby or Donkey Kong or Mario Tennis is because I got those as a review code from Nintendo to review for Switch Watch, so there was no need to buy a physical copy for those 3 games at least. And there's other games on there that I do have that I don't need to buy physically, like FIFA. I have FIFA and stuff like that. But yeah, this is my collection so far. This will be outdated probably by tomorrow if it's up to me. I've got my eye on a few games, a few smaller indie games. I kind of like those, you know, like kind of the unexpected physical releases. I like the games that you don't expect to have physical releases. So I'm sure there's a few that I will have in my collection again so far. It was payday yesterday, so yeah, I have been looking. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if there's any like sound issues or something like that, because there's like fireworks and yeah, anyway. If you'd like to see more of me, then head over to Switch Watch, where I do reviews. By the time this goes up, I'm sure I've reviewed SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. I should be doing that right now, but I'm not. I'm doing this. So yeah, head over there to see more stuff, and I'm sure I will do more in this channel at some point. It's just finding the free time, and yeah. Okay guys, take care, and thanks for sticking with me.